Alright, so we're going to do things a little differently. I'm going to answer your questions that you guys submitted to me live, right here in front of you guys today. And quickly, if you want to take your finances to a whole new level and hit every single financial goal that you want, go ahead and book a free call for Budget Dog Academy in the show notes below. My team and I will meet with you and see if you're eligible to join the academy, where the average student is saving an extra $20,000 per year. So I will see you guys there. So my goal is to take about 10 questions in a single video and answer these really directly, and also point you to other resources that might make more sense to understand the full picture. So our first one here is Kelly_Kelly85_ asks, saving for a child, what type of account to open? Good question, Kelly. So there's a few things here that you want to consider. Is what is the purpose of this account? Is it for college? Is it for something else? Just kind of think through that generally. Once you understand what that's for, then we can point to a few different accounts. Number one being a 529, which would make a lot of sense for education, K through 12, etc. The other one, if you were just trying to save in general for maybe an 18-year-old or 21-year-old when they graduate college or graduate high school and they need a little bit of that extra cushion, maybe for a down payment on a home or car, something like an UTMA might make a lot of sense. However, I'm not a huge fan of the UTMA because you lose control as the parent. So my goal would be to go with a taxable brokerage as a parent, in the parent's name. The other one would be potentially a Roth IRA. If your child is making earned income, I think it's really smart to put that earned income into a Roth IRA for them before they even get to the age of 18. This is going to set them light years ahead. Also, in the top right hand corner, you will see another link for an entire breakdown of child investing. Alright, so the next question we have is Ty.Tobin. Best recession prep advice. I've been talking about this a lot, guys. A lot of people are about to get wiped clean. And when I mean that, they're going to lose a job and they're not going to be financially prepared for losing that job. It's unfortunate, but it's about to happen. So over the next couple months, it's already happened. The job losses have already started trickling in. I think it's going to get a lot worse here soon. I might be wrong, whatever. But regardless, a recession in the future is going to come at some point in time. So to be prepared, you need an emergency fund, you need cash flow, you need multiple streams of income, and you need to have a good quality financial plan, not something in your head, not my fixed expenses list out on a piece of paper that I kind of reference every once in a while. A fully detailed financial plan. That doesn't mean just a budget. So if you need the full financial plan, of course you can contact me and we can get that together. Jaimio, I'm going to butcher this name, is move money from mutual funds to index funds or leave alone and invest in index going forward. You know me, if you guys have been following me for quite some time, the index fund is the way to go, whether that be a broad-based index fund, a sector-based index fund, whatever is your preference. Index funds over actively managed mutual funds every single day of the week, and there's a lot of statistics behind that. I have a free presentation I'm going to share with you guys in the show notes below, 25-minute free presentation on why indexing is the way to go for the average person, in fact, most people. Okay, so on Twas044, I think I pronounced that right. Best way to budget without using Mint. Prefer offline tools that I can manage. You came to the right place. I have an entire course. Check the link in the bio. I'm going to keep this one simple. Budget to financial freedom is your way to go. D. Dominguez. Is there a way to access Roth 401k money early? Yes, absolutely. So I get a little heated when people bash the 401k and say it's a scam because there's so many different ways, and usually it's because, hey, I can't touch my money till 60. There are so many ways to access your money before 60. You just have to know them. So number one would be the rule of 55. This is most likely the easiest way to access it, assuming that you plan on early retirement at 55. If you get separated from service, you get fired, whatever, with your job, you can access your current 401k at your current employer. So some people plan this out and they say, my goal is 55. Therefore, when they leave old jobs and they roll the old 401ks, they need to be rolling those into the current 401k likely, because therefore they can access that at age 55. If they don't do that, that's fine. You can roll it to an IRA, but you can't use this rule of 55 unless it's the current employer 401k. The other options are the Roth conversion ladder and the rule of 55. In short, the Roth conversion ladder is when you're taking traditional assets and you're converting them to Roth assets, and you can't touch them for another 5 years. So if somebody wants to retire at 55, they begin this process at 50, and then they ladder these conversions over the next 5 years up until about 60 years old. And then, of course, at 60, they can access a regular retirement typically. The Rule of 72T is a very complex thing. I have an hour presentation on Rule 72T in particular. You also might hear SEP, substantially equal periodic payments. That term's used often. So I have an entire presentation, an hour-long presentation within my Budget Dog Academy. All right, Janie_Lou asked, what stocks are you buying right now? Everyone. I always buy all of them because back to the index fund versus actively managed mutual fund question, indexing is the way to go. And with indexes, you're buying a lot. So I don't believe in the average investor picking a few stocks and running with it. I think it's a really, really poor decision. In fact, a lot of professionals would support that argument. Number one, Warren Buffett has said, if you are the everyday person out there trying to make and build wealth, which I think we all are, we're here listening to this video, your best bet is to stop trying to diversify with 10, 20, 30 stocks and just buy the index and make it easy and go on from there. So with that being said, I do have a small position in Meta, and I still continue. I will obviously hold that for, I have a decade plus on that investment I made back in October. And obviously with the market downfall, it's been down, but zero panic here. I might pick up a few shares here and there. It's within my IRA, so I have limitations on how much I can get in a given year. But yeah, Meta would be the only one that I would be potentially buying right now. Adeshins, I pronounced that one way wrong. Adeshins 24. So should you take from savings to pay off credit card balance to avoid interest? So yes, that's a very easy answer, and I'll show you the math behind this. When you put your money in a savings account, even if it's a high yield savings account, you're guaranteeing, let's say at this point in time, about 2% return. If you have a credit card balance that's 20%, you're guaranteeing by paying that money off 20% return. It's really, really simple when it comes down to that math. You have a difference of 18% by making that decision, you should do it. Steiner_O. One hears a lot of pro things about index funds and ETFs. What are the contras? So that's a great question. I think that with the index, the main downfall to this would be that you have a lot of losers within an index. So if you're accumulating naturally, let's say all 500 S&P 500 stocks, 504, 508, whatever it is currently, you would actually have a lot of losers in that naturally versus, hey, could I pick the top 20? Sure, you could, but the chances you get that right are so minimal that it's not worth taking that chance because it could set you back decades from an investment standpoint, and I wouldn't do it. So that would be the number one downfall of index funds. The other is it's the market return. So you're not expected to beat the market, you're not gonna beat the market. However, the average investor over the last 20 years had a 3.6% return, where the S&P 500 had a 9.5% return. So most people equate average of market with average investor. Incorrect entirely. If you are the average market, you are likely in the top 10% of investors. There's a lot of reasons as to why an investor doesn't just take that easy route. Many human psychology things and behavioral things, but in general, if you are the S&P 500 or the index in general, you're going to be a top performer. Nancy_fancy_0. I like that name. So a lot of people are losing their 401k. I'm kind of confused on that one. How long do you guess it would take for the market to recover? Okay, I think I understand the context behind this question. So first things first are, I don't know when the market's going to recover. No one does. No matter what anybody says, they can use as much data. It's all a guess. It's the future. No one knows the future. So let's think about it that way. With that being said, a lot of people are losing their 401k. I don't think that's possible because, for one, you don't lose your 401k. The balance might go down within the 401k based on what you're invested within the 401k, which is a key concept to understand. The investment within your 401k is different than mine versus your neighbors, versus your colleague, versus your brother. It doesn't really matter what their 401ks are doing. Most people default because they don't understand that key concept and they just default into a target date fund. And so they thought their employers selected this and they had never had the option. That's just, not correct. So the key here is to make sure you know what you're invested in. You need to, obviously align that with your risk tolerance and your other goals as well. And in the top right hand corner, I'll provide a video of exactly how to align that. Now, your 401k is a little limited in what you can invest in, obviously, as your company's gonna go select a basket of investments versus the broad market. So you will have some limitations. There might be some fees, all those kind of things. But as far as panic, guys, this is the time to buy. You have to understand what you're buying. That's investing 101, is education behind what you're buying. Can you explain it to me in layman's terms of what you're buying? Do you have confidence and conviction in that when the market does dip, which is inevitable, to continue to buy? If you can't, you're not properly invested. You need to speak with a professional. The meat is full of joy. I think that's how I said it correctly. If I have invested in index funds, I'm assuming that means a taxable brokerage because you don't invest in index funds directly. It has to be through some sort of account. And need to withdraw some money. Do I sell part of the funds or all of it? Well, it would be the portion that you need from a dollar perspective. However, I would not be doing this. If you are investing money, you need to know the goal of that money. You need to understand that you're not here to pool or negotiate when things get rough. You need to have your emergency funds, you need to have your cash flow elsewhere, and you need to take care of business. When the market dips and you need something else, this is not the time to be playing games with the market, or you'll be the average investor, which I talked about earlier. And the last question I'm gonna answer today, guys, is from EMG10. Best account for investing if I make more than $144,000, would like to have money grow tax-free. Good question. So the reason she put 144 is, I'm assuming, because the income limits for the IRA. So she's thinking Roth IRA grows tax-free. What's another alternative to that? Well, the backdoor Roth IRA. So if you do make over the limit, which, remember, this is based on modified adjusted gross income, not actual gross income when we're talking about limits here. So assuming that's the case, the backdoor would be invest into a traditional IRA and then convert that to a Roth IRA. The same way the person without the income would just do directly into a Roth IRA. So the government wants to make this hard. They want to complicate this. They want to make it, you go the extra step and extra mile because you're richer, you make more money. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is. So I would still do a Roth IRA, just do a backdoor Roth IRA. If you guys are ready to take your finances to the next level, get a financial plan, get in order, join my Budget Dog Academy, schedule a free call below, and we will talk with you to see if you're a good fit for the Academy, where the average student is saving $20,000 per year. With that being said, guys, comment below if you have any questions on the questions that I answered today, and I will respond to every single question as always, and I will see you in the next video.